What's up guys, it's me Jeremy, and today I'm going to give some tips on both the offensive and defensive portions of sieging. Now, there are two ways to successfully siege. The first one is to poke, and the second one is to push. In the poke strategy, you focus on poking down your opponents with high range abilities in an effort to force them off of the tower or get them low enough to tower dive. Once you poke them down, you can either take the tower for free or try to dive them in an effort to win a fight that could result in multiple towers. This strategy is a little bit harder to execute because it does require a good team comp that can poke well, but it is extremely effective when executed properly, as it forces your opponents completely off of the tower. In the push strategy, you focus on pushing the lane super hard, while your ranged champions poke down the tower. You keep doing this each wave until finally you take the tower down. Once the tower goes down, you can initiate onto your opponents or just push for another tower. One thing to note is that it's important to have something that defends your minions in this strategy. If you don't, your opponents can just clear the wave and there's nothing you can do about it. So even if it's as simple as a card this wall, or something more complicated which you will usually have, like a tank having to zone out the enemy team, you need to have this necessary frontline presence to stop your opponents from clearing the waves too fast so that you can poke down the tower. One thing to note when offensively sieging is that it's an extremely good idea to have your other lanes pushed. That way, one of your opponents will have to go and clear the wave, resulting in a 4v5 that gives an opportunity to take the tower, start a fight, or if they don't go to clear the wave, you can just take the tower in the other lane that was pushing. For defending a siege, your defensive tactic will be different depending on what offensive tactic your opponent is using. If they're using the poke strategy, what you need to do is simply just start a fight. When a champion goes in to poke you, they will often be in range to be initiated on. It's usually the champions that are squishy that are the ones doing the poke, so you can catch them out with some crowd control and win a fight fairly easily, as long as you manage to start the fight while your whole team is healthy. You need to act fast and do this before your team gets poked down and is forced to back off. Now if you're down 4v5 or really behind in the game or something like that, baiting a tower dive or simply just trying to avoid the poke while clearing the waves might be your only option. But if you're in that situation already, there's not that much you can do. That's just the power of a poke comp. For defending against the push strategy, you need to poke down the enemy front line while clearing the waves in the best way that you can. You should be able to safely hit the enemy frontliner due to the tower, and once you get rid of the opponent's front line, you should be able to simply just clear the waves before your opponents get a chance to hit the tower. And if they overextend for a few more hits onto the tower, you can catch them out with some crowd control and get an easy pick. It's important to keep up with the push though. You need to clear the waves relatively fast, otherwise the opponents will have a large window to hit the tower. One thing to note when defending a siege is that fighting is often a good idea, as long as you are not at too big of a disadvantage. Catching out carries while they hit the tower is actually not that hard because they're in range to hit the tower, so you can capitalize on their overextension for an easy pick. So that's it for my video on sieging. I'd love it if you could support me with a like or some feedback in the comments, and if you have any questions, you can join me on the North American chat room, Gaming Curios, which I am always in when I go online. Please subscribe for more awesome content in the future if you enjoyed this video, and I would love it if you could follow me on Facebook or Twitter, which I will have links in the description. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.